Nice. Okay, last question, just kind of going down here. Talk about, I mean, you worked with your editor and reworked your beat. You did this about 6 months ago? Is that what we said?
Year.
About a year.
A year ago.
Okay, so about a year ago you did this. In first quarter, you won this Best of Gannett Award, which somebody said is what education beat reporting should look like. Talk about what that means, that, you know, for you as a journalist to have other journalists recognize your good work amongst all of your peers. And that came out of some of the work you did. You know, it's not all that. Obviously, you're a great reporter. You do a good job. You hustle. You work hard. But talk about, I guess, what that award meant for you.
A few weeks ago, I was honored with a Best of Gannett Award for beat reporting in education. And they told me that the award was given because it was the work that I was doing was what other journalists thought, or how journalists thought education should be covered. And that was one, shocking, surprising, but it was really rewarding because it made me feel as if the decisions that we made a year ago to restructure my beat mattered, that we had made the right decisions to restructure my beat and to reallocate my time and place higher importance on the types of stories that I have gotten to cover. You know, as I covered more serious issues and used the time that we had redirected to write stories that I think every journalist would want to write about education, about budgets, about changes in curriculum, about personnel issues, I mean, you name it. When I got to do that, the community started to care. More and more people would write in and say, hey, thank you so much for that story. Had you heard about X? And I started to build a relationship with people in a different way. You know, they realized that we were looking out for how their resources were being spent and cared about how their kids and the people who educate them were being treated. And that was really important to people. I would argue in some cases more than being able to just say, wow, look at this really neat thing here. We can do all of that. I can go out in the community and I can have these conversations and I can celebrate with people and have fun in classrooms. That's one thing. And then I can write the stories that matter to everyone as taxpayers and as people who are trying to raise the next generation of workers and human beings.
All right, now real last question. Would you say, because you said a couple things there that are kind of interesting, would you say you're writing more of the stories you want to write because of looking at the metrics?
Okay, so not for the camera. One thing that has been disappointing, I'll just talk it out and then we can figure out how to answer it.
Yeah.
I still struggle because I get so fired up about things that don't register in the numbers, like research at CSU that I get super excited about, and then I go and then it doesn't come back and do very well. So I don't know how to answer that question very well.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I would say I am writing, you know.
I'll tell you what, that's a question I would like you and I to get coffee about over the next week or two and see what we can do to tackle that.
That sounds good, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'm doing, Ryan and I are going to do the same thing either today or tomorrow or something, and just sit down and say, okay, let's talk about this. There's still some things we need to address here. So you and I can talk about that this week, because I think there's a good way to go about some experimentation.
That would be good.
So, all right.
Okay.
And we're done with her. Can we do Eric Larson real quick?